Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Play Wyrd stream. My name is Ben. I go by the moniker Ashenhold Art, and I will be your host for the next couple of hours as we try and get the camera to focus on Asami Tanaka from the Realm Beyond box that is winging its way to your friendly local gaming store this autumn or fall, if you prefer. So I was having a little look at the box art. I do have the base for her, by the way, in case you're wondering. We're going to try and sort the colours on this little lady first. I was having a look at the box art. And I've got a whole bunch of paints I quite like Games Workshop blues. I know you see me using scale 75 a lot, so got these various colors. So if I pull up my reference image again, it's quite a dark blue on her gown, but it's quite a saturated blue. I think there's actually a little bit of violet here and there. So I think we could probably actually, although I've just said about Games Workshop blues, I'm looking at this Tesla blue. And I'm wondering maybe if we knock that back or darken that down a little bit. We do also have Cantabric blue. And then we could use a bit of violet in there as well. So, do you know what? I think I might mix a little bit of the Cantabric and the Tesla and see what we get. Oh, look at that. I've not even opened the Tesla blue. This is probably quite similar to quite a few other companies make a colour called ultramarine blue. A sort of indigo, almost violet colour. It's probably... Oh, that came out pretty good right away. Nice. So I'm just going to try and get our base coats in. So just mix in a little bit of the two together. I think that could do with being a little bit darker, you know that? Just looking at that. So we've got... I don't know if I can get that to focus. I think I want to darken that down a bit, so I'm going to take a bit of Abyssal blue. It's maybe a bit too dark there. Let's get some colour back into that. Okay, let's get that on then. Just clean that brush off. Just load it up, and off we go. And although there's a bunch of different colours on the dress, I'm just gonna slap this on all over just now. Because that's going to give us a good base coat to work from. Oh, hey, Celery Paints. Thanks for dropping in. How you doing this fine day? Painting Asami Tanaka from the upcoming Realm Beyond box for Malifaux. So she is one of the masters in Malifaux. Master of the keyword Oni, I believe. So all the Ten Thunders-esque demons are at her beck and call. A little bit more. I'm just getting this base coat in. Nice deep blue. A couple of coats should probably do it. Keeping that as thin and opaque as I can. Nice intersection of the two, preferably. Okay. I've ran out of paper towel. I keep going to put it. Just trying to get rid of some of that water there. Let's hit this with a hairdryer. A little patchy under there, so we'll just get that. Move some of that stuff. Right, on a blast. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So if I look again at my reference image, I think the apron is quite a dark teal colour. So I think what we'll do is probably use some Incubi Darkness, and then I'll lighten that up. Probably do that first before we do anything else. And then we can maybe start putting some of the volumes in. Got a sort of jade green as well. Got some jade green up there, probably use that for that. Yeah. Let's do the Incubi Darkness first. So this is just a really dark teal if you've never used Incubi Darkness before. Get some of that in there. And there's actually like a lip there where you can see a bit of the blue dress underneath it, so we'll leave that as is. And this sash as well, it's the same colour as the Cat Sylvester is sitting in with me today. Appears to be giving me a running commentary of what you can see out the window. Don't you? Yeah, he is very talky. So normally he's not in here, but he wanted in today, so. You off now? Yeah. There he goes. He's expecting me to follow him there. Putting in some rough highlights here. Just getting a little bit of color here. Of highlighting. I'm going to refine this later, so I'm not being super neat just now. I keep muscle memories betraying me there. I keep going to see if I've got something I can use to blot up. Because it's throwing me off my mojo. Let's use this bit of sponge. So I normally use a bit of paper towel here just to blot some of the excess water off my brush. But you know what? I've got a towel just there. Use this. That'll work. Right, and for the ribbons, I'm going to use a mix of jade green and Caribbean blue. I haven't used this in a while, so it needs a good shake. Get the feedback. So that's maybe looking a little bit separate from the rest of what we have just now, but we've got this ribbon up here. There we go. That's going to tie it together nicely. It's like that. It's like a mini version of this down here. I think on the artwork there's actually quite a few bits of lighting that are quite similar to this colour, which is another way of getting a good bit of visual harmony. Yeah, exactly. Good to see you, by the way, Wojciech. Thanks for popping in. But yeah, exactly what Wojciech said is if you, I mean, you could try and paint that fully assembled, but you'd have a hell of a job on your hands. I think what I'm actually going to do is use airbrush for most of the smoke, so I can sketch some different volumes. And I'm probably going to go with a sort of lilac colour. So I'll probably have a go at doing that off stream, I think. Yeah, the running joke is that that Malifaux minis can be a bit on the tricky side to assemble, but even with Malifaux miniatures, there's a lot of instances where you're going to want to work in sub-assemblies. Yeah, I'm hoping to do the whole box. So I've got I know. Oh, we're back. I think we're back. We are back. Thank you for confirming there. Play weird. Yeah. So sorry, as I was saying, Lady Yumi's pretty much done, and I've actually just on the subject of sub assemblies, I've done the same thing with the Dreamer. I think it's the way to go with this set. To be honest, I wouldn't attempt painting them all together. And golden rule for sub assemblies is you do them in as few assemblies as possible. You don't want to be complicating things for yourself. So two sub assemblies, I think, for these kind of models is enough. Just look in the last of this jade color in. We're still a bit patchy in places, but I do need to double check my reference image a minute, so excuse me. It's just misbehaving. Okay, so I think what I'll do is the sort of lapel on the top of her gown. I think I'm going to paint that the jade color as well. And then what I'll do is I'll just do the white bits over the top of that. Yeah. the whole thing. So. Often used, you try to avoid doing it. Is there specific criteria you have when you're planning whether or not to use sub-assemblies? Generally try to avoid it, and then struggle overall composition. Yeah, I get that. A lot of the time, if I'm doing sub-assemblies, I'll test fit stuff as I go. But that is the main reason that I would avoid trying to use too many sub-assemblies when I'm working on something, is because, like you say, it can completely throw off the entire piece. Your light shadow works. I'll show you what I mean. So Hoffman I've been working on. He's nearly finished. Just a couple of bits left, but boop. So throughout the process, every so often, I just stick it back together, have a look, make sure everything's lining up properly. I think he's looking pretty good. I had a bit of a struggle with the shoulders, but I think to be honest, I'm getting to the stage with this guy where it's definitely a finished is better than perfect type scenario. Had a bit of a fight with his pauldrons, you see. I'm going to try and do a little floral design on our apron, yeah. Just need to make sure that I've got a good base coat down before I do that. Then I'll do the freehand in, and then I'll sketch, rather I'll glaze some different highlights and shadows off the top of it, so that it, because this is the thing, right, is with this sort of gown, we want any floral pattern that's on her to look like it's part of the weave. We don't want it to look like it's been printed on the surface. So in order to get that, we do what is called a diaphanous glaze, which is just a really fancy term for a very, very thin glaze that you apply over something to make it look like it's below the surface. Hopefully I can finish blocking in these colors, and we can get to that. Base coating here, so I'm not too worried about being super neat. Okay, that is looking good. So let's do something about the apron so that we can get that looking the way we want it to. So let's just tidy up little bits we've gone over, and then what we'll do is we'll start to highlight up. So, to that Incubi Darkness, I'm going to try adding a little bit of field grey. So, let's see how this looks. Oh, hey, Doug. Thanks for popping by. Yeah, I think that looks fairly close to what I'm after. Because this is a more muted part of her attire. A little bit more Incubi Darkness needed, I think. Oh, something stuck there. So this has given us that kind of muted, earthy teal that we're after. It is good. It's what we wanted to see. It's always quite satisfying when you're mixing colours and you get them pretty accurate. Off the mark. Trying to keep my brush loaded nice and even. Oops. There we go. I'll probably do a little bit more over it. Just neaten it up a little bit more before I go ahead and start putting some of those flowers on. So the good thing is that because this is a floral pattern that we're going to be putting on, it's a bit more forgiving. And we're not going to need to make all of the flowers like the same size or anything like that. Whereas if you're trying to do geometric shapes, that can be a lot tougher, especially if it's symmetrical geometric shapes. So let's give this a blast with a hairdryer before we get started. And just tidy up any little patchy bits before we go on. So even though we're going to be doing freehand and it's going to be, you know, floral design, quite wild and natural looking, we still want a nice smooth canvas to work from. Okay, just gonna, oops, sorry about that, I'm wearing headphones. Just put a little soap on my brush to help condition it. There we go. And keep a nice point on it. Okay, so let's have a look at the floral pattern. So there's some leaves, some flowers in there as well. I'm wondering if I want to go a little bit lighter again before I do anything else. That's the thought. Suggestions for people looking for a new set. I would say don't get too caught up with what works well in the game, because metas will come and go, rules will change, but cool models are forever. You can quote me on that. No, jokes aside, always rule of cool. That's how I go about purchasing things. Whether it's a character whose lore or background you think is particularly cool, or whether it's you just think something looks cool, I think that should always. Oh, brush suggestions. Oh, geez, brush suggestions. Okay. Anyway, there's some cool suggestions for buying a new set as well that no one asked for, so you're welcome. So for buying a new set of brushes, I think a little bit of it does depend on your painting style. So let's do a quick brush lineup. So I've got, these are all different sizes, by the way. It's just so you can see the brands. So this is what I use. Okay. So brush suggestions. These are all good for different reasons. if you want just like a sort of workhorse brush, see for doing like your base coating or, you know, like any rough work, that sort of thing. Although you're doing rough work, I would still suggest that you use a good brush, because you still want your base coats going down smooth. Like some people will use, you know, a brush with a tip like that on it, and that's not good to you. You can see that. So the point's just gone on that. Won't hold a point anymore. That either just gets used for mixing or it gets binned. So the Raphael is a fairly inexpensive brush that is good if you just want a workhorse and you want bang for your buck. Raphael. And again, you see it's still Kolinsky Sable I use, because synthetic brushes just don't hold a point for long. So apologies, vegans, but at the moment we just don't have the technology to compete with the Kolinsky brush in terms of quality. Broken Toad. So these ones, so even though this is a 000, like look at the size of the bristles on it. So these are great for getting in clean lines and edge highlight and things like that. But the thing you need to be careful is because of the length of those bristles. There's quite a big belly on that brush, and it holds a lot of water, and that can be a double-edged sword. That can be a good thing, and that can be a bad thing. And then the last one is the Winsor & Newton, which has a much shorter head on it. These are great detail brushes. So I would say no matter what you're going for, Kolinsky Sable is probably the way forward. So watercolor brushes. So like these Winsor & Newtons, they were originally developed for watercolor painting, and for miniature painting you need brushes with very similar properties. So here's my 3 recommendations. Broken Toad can be a little hard to come by if you're in the States. I think Winsor & Newton you can get. I'm not sure about Raphael because they're French, as you can see. There you go. Right, what am I doing? I think I'm going to go lighter on that before I do the freehand. Just a bit lighter. So instead of adding more grey, more of the field grey to this mix, once I've got it there, like that, being awesome. Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, sometimes I forget what question I'm answering, but that's okay, because it means actually that you guys get more answers out of that. So there you go. Now, so I can lighten it one of 2 ways. I can lighten it with the ice yellow, or I can lighten it with Arctic blue. I think we put a little bit of yellow in because we've got quite a lot of blue. Yeah. So I'm not going to go as heavy with this. I'm just going to, I think we can go a little thinner than that. Oops. Do a little bit of a blend on that. Look at that. Maybe gone a little bit light here, but remember I'm gonna glaze down. So, I mean, if anything, it's going to help me with reading that for doing a freehand. So. Oh, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a bit different from the card art, but that looks cool. So. It's all about that rule of cool, right? Oh, it's neat. Let's just tidy it up a bit. And then we'll go and do some freehand. Okay. So, freehand then. Actually, there's another little bit I'm gonna. Oh, that's a dirty brush. Right, now we do some freehand. So I actually have, I think for doing the outlines, I've got some Nocturne Green kicking about. If I can remember where I put it. This is it. This is it. Okay. So this is a really dark green. So if we just put black on it, it'd be too stark. There we go. So it's still very dark. But it's going to help us with the definition. So I'm going to switch to using the Winsor & Newton 0. And let's have a look at that reference again. Okay. So I'm going to exaggerate it just a little bit more than is on the on our dress. Just because it doesn't necessarily translate. Brush keeps spraying it. More there. He's got this quite pronounced flower right down here. So I'm just trying to do something similar. when you get a little fold, it can be a bollocks that. Now do some leaves around it. Like that. It's almost like, rather than it being necessarily a pattern, it's like a scene almost. Like this sort of dead flower up here. Do another flower here. So I think what we'll do is we'll do a few of the lilies through it, and then we'll have like sort of leaves blowing around it. Okay, Voce, no problem. Too much water there. probably one here as well. Maybe one up here, and I think that'll be enough. And it can be, this is the good thing about it being like an organic shape, is they can be any size that we want them to be. And this is what I mean when I say that geometric shapes are much harder. It looks rough just now, but we'll cut it and refine it as we go. And one up here, I think. So even though we're in the early stages, we want nice, clean lines, working with purpose. Don't want anything too sketchy looking. Got a little sun drying on that. There we go. There we go. And then I think I want about here. Maybe do it a little smaller, I think. Something like that. When you're doing this, if you find your brush starts to split, it usually means that there's not enough water in it. It can be a bit of a temptation to just try and just use the paint straight, but just don't wanna. Oh, I got some. There we go. Something stuck on my brush there. I went a bit wide with that there. But a little bit messy in the corner there, but okay. Well, we're off to a decent start, I think. And do some tumbling leaves. I want some leaves around the flowers themselves too. Like it look like they're on the vine. Thinking maybe these are like orchids or something like that, you know. Just there, some rough lines there, so the back, cut that shape. There.
I'm just going to each bloom, building up some foliage around it. You might be a little freaked doing this, but remember that freehand is just painting. So all the stuff you would do normally, that all applies, including the way that you correct mistakes, refine your work. If you ever see some of the pros at freehand, your Richard Grays and your Tommy Souls, their freehand work starts out looking quite rudimentary when they do their initial sketch, and then they build it up and refine it as they go. It doesn't start out looking amazing. So don't beat yourself up when you start out and it's maybe not looking the way you want it to. It'll get there. We got a good little foundation there, I think. I'm going to finish sketching. I say sketching, I'm still trying to be neat, but you know what I mean. I'm going to finish drawing in some of these leaves. And then I'm going to block in some of the skin, I think, because I want to get an idea of how my base coats are all looking against one another before I move on. So the folds in the cloth can be a little tricky. I think I'm not going to do too much more than that, so I'm probably just going to put a couple more leaves in here and there. Yep, got acknowledged, Wyrd, thank you. I'll just finish this up and then I'll zoom in so you guys can get a look at it. And then I'll do some of the skin to finish her up. I feel like we could do with one up here. Yep. I actually think maybe one more just here. Maybe like a elongated one. Like that. I think that'll do us. Try and zoom in. Oh, that's the opposite. Okay. Yeah. So it's looking a little rough just now. And I don't want to put too much in for it to be too noisy, because I'm still going to put some shadow onto that. It's going to darken down quite a bit. And like I said, once we've painted it all, we'll put a diaphanous glaze over the top of it to knock it back and make it look like it's part of the weave rather than just printed on. But yeah, hopefully you can see where we're going with that. Let's do a little bit of our skin. So I quite she doesn't look so pale in the artwork, does she? Let's have a look. I think we might start with golden skin. I think we start with golden skin and then try shading that with a little bit of Indian shadow. Oh. Acknowledged again. Play Wyrd, thank you. So it is Gen Con this weekend, and our very own Kyle is going to be there. Did I say Gen Con? It's Origins. Origins. Gen Con's gone. My toddler started nursery this week, and you know, I think dealing with all of that has maybe affected me a little bit more than I realised. But yeah, Kyle will be at Origins, and I think he will be showing off Vagrant Song again. So if you're there, keep an eye out for him. And he will talk at you enthusiastically about the new board game, which I hear is very, very good. I've not had a chance to try it yet, but you can check it out on Tabletop Simulator, I believe. Oh. I think the skin tone's looking good. I just realised I've got chat up. You goober. Thanks for keeping me right on. Yeah, I think he will make new friends. He's a very confident little guy. So when we took him to the nursery, he just ran off and started playing. So you know, other parents, their kids crying, doesn't want to be parted from them, but my son can't wait to get away from me. I am assured that is a good thing, though. So Gonna make a little bit of a mess here, just trying to get this paint into her neck there. That's okay. Tidy that up. The golden skin works quite nicely as a, if you're looking for a more Asian skin tone. And that bit of the neck there. Get all that done. Still very early stages for her, so obviously if we'd opted not to do the freehand, things would be going a bit quicker, but she's a master, so she should look a little bit special, I think. That's a pretty good solid foundation to work with on the skin there. So just need to get that neck. Okay, we've got a few minutes left, so let's paint those tentacles. Get some purple on her. And violet is such a joy to work with because it goes on so easy. Oh, apologies. That was, I think, someone taking out trash. It's really cool because it's like she's got these sort of tentacles coming out the back of her head. And it looks like a headdress. She's one creepy lady. Just quickly. Top there. And you can see her from the front. Okay, so we've got a pretty good foundation to work with there, but lots still to do, as you can see. And she is quite a small model, but like I said, because she is a master, I'm going to make her look a little bit special, hopefully. So, hopefully something in line quality-wise with Lady Yumi eventually. So, yep. Monday, Wednesday, 11:30 Eastern time. I will be back. I believe Jess will be around at 3, half 3. Yep. Jess, Haunted Miniatures. I think he said he might be doing some terrain. So, yeah. Have a tune in. I know he is taking a little break from the Hoffman model he was painting. So make sure you pop in and see that. But I will definitely get some pictures of Lady Yumi up this week so that you can all see. So check the Facebook group, check my socials. You're bound to see her there. And we'll do a little more work on Asami Tanaka next time. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.